Welcome, Gemini, and all right, and Gemini cross watchers to your mini weekly love reading. So we'll have a card for you, a card for you, card for them, and the situation between you. Gemini, it feels like there seems to be some sort of transaction that's happening on your person's end, and it almost feels like you're kind of waiting for some sort of internal hit. You seem to be waiting for something to be completed here, but it feels to a certain extent that like you've done everything you can do and now that is in somebody else's hands, right? Hold on for a second. I feel like you know that you have people on your team that are fighting for you here. It almost feels like it could be that someone has passed and there's like the division of assets or something. That obviously will be very specific. And I feel like you're kind of just waiting for everything to get sorted out. Again, that may be very specific. For the most part, it feels like you may not see something coming here. I think, oh, okay. We have the Three of Swords with the Queen of Swords. So it feels like somebody maybe it feels like they're trying to tally up who's done what. Like they seem to want to have that a bit of like that tit for tat energy. So it's like if you buy coffee for $5, then they have to buy. You know what I mean? And it's not that they're competing with you. It's more like if the two of you go out and they pay for dinner and it's, let's say $50, $100. Let's say 100 for argument's sake. Then the next time the two of you go out, they expect you to pay $100. And it's almost like that's a reasonable expectation that there's, equal and compromise, right? But I feel like this person is being kind of a dick about it. Like they're keeping a tally. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we're going to almost like they're playing Scrabble with the amount of points. They're checking like, oh, double word score. What's going on over here? For those of you that, if you're not familiar with Scrabble, it's a word game and each letter has a value. And then depending on where you put that letter, there may be extra points or whatever. And so I feel like this person is somebody that is oh, that's it. Sorry. I feel like to a certain extent, they seem to be nickel and diming you. And I feel like it's making you feel like this connection is more about money than it is about love. And I feel like it's like once you kind of got that idea, that feeling in your head and in your heart more, it's like your head noticed it and then your heart was paying attention. And I feel like the more you saw that, the more it's almost this energy of like, take your money and go then. You know what I mean? Because that's not what you're here for. That's not what you're about. And I feel to a certain extent, it is breaking your heart because it's like, it's one of those things where this might be somebody that talks a lot about like, oh, money's not everything, but it's actually a much higher priority for them than they want to admit, if that makes sense, right? Little bit. I feel kind of gross saying this, but it's like a little bit of, hypocritical energy. Oh. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Oh yeah, I feel like either this person turns this nonsense around real quick. Oh, sorry, this was the Empress reversed, and I was asking what the connection is with the Hanged Man for you and the Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like to a certain extent, you're not going to be sticking around or putting any more energy into a relationship where someone's more focused about making sure they get the $3.84 that you owe them rather than, listen, if you owe somebody that, then like you owe them that, of course you should pay them, right? but it's the way that they go about it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of seems a bit skeevy, if that's the right word. I feel like that might not even be a word. No, not slimy. It just feels a little bit gross the way they do it. You know what I mean? It's almost like maybe they would, it's like this is the kind of person that they want to talk about how much they spent on this and how much they spent on that and da 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 da. And like, of course, that's coming from somewhere, right? Maybe this person at one point in their life experienced some real insecurity when it comes to finances. And I'm not saying like they were insecure. I mean, like they didn't have enough money to know where their next meal was coming from, kind of deal. So now that they have it, now that they've worked for it, they're, from their perspective, I feel like they see it as they're being diligent. They don't want to fight about money, so they're keeping track of it. And I feel like you're over here like, yeah, but come on. So it just feels like there is a bit of a disparity there. What about this person and the Three of Swords? We have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, you know what? This person, the Nine of Cups, okay, talks about the Queen of Cups. It talks about an energy where somebody is emotionally fulfilled within themselves, right? So I feel like they seem to have this attitude of, well, if Gemini isn't going to get on board, then see ya, right? And like, it's not that you're not on board. It almost just seems to cheapen the connection and what the two of you have, that they're constantly doing this. You know what I mean? I also feel this might be specific for some of you. This person might be like a poor tipper. And listen, I know that we're all getting into, there's that like, I think it's called like tipping fatigue or whatever, because it's everywhere. But it feels like with this person, it's to the extent of, I think it was, if ever you've seen Third Rock from the Sun, the first time that the main character learned about tipping, it's like he actually had a stack of ones on the table. And every time something went well, he would add to it. But if something went wrong, he would take it away, and he'd do it right in front of the waitress, or I think it was a waitress. So for example, if he was like, oh, can I have this type of meal? And she'd be like, oh, well, we're out of chicken. He'd be like, oh, well, I'm going to take that. And it was so degrading. You know what I mean? It's that kind of an energy. It may not be the actual tipping amount. It's the attitude, or the kind of, it's almost like when it comes to money, there's a bit of venom in there with this person. And I feel like you may be kind of on the fence as to whether or not this is something that you're going to be able to deal with long term. I feel like you may see this person as somebody that doesn't treat people properly when it comes to that sort of thing. Not that they're, not paying people if they owe them, but just that they're, I feel like I've said that enough times. So can we get some advice or what Gemini can expect? The Fool. Okay. We do have the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Can we get a clarifier for that new beginning? So we have the Four of Pentacles and Queen of Cups reversed, the Lovers and Three of Wands. There seems to be somebody here that comes in that puts everything into perspective for you. I feel like it's almost like you seem to speak your mind about something, and this person tries to paint you out to be the bad guy. And I feel, of course, use your own intuition, right? To make your own decisions. It does feel like there's something that somebody says here that makes you be like, yeah, you know what? That is true. It's like that's sometimes where you're feeling something and you can't quite put your finger on it, and then somebody says something and you're like, yes, that's it. That's what I've been trying to put into words this whole time. I feel like you have that. You seem to have that experience with somebody. It's almost this energy of like maybe the two of you are out and some kid walks by and says to your person, like, you know what, you're kind of mean, or something like very small like that. And I feel like it's like you had been kind of inching towards seeing that, but there's something about this rather innocent person saying something very blunt and honest that seems to make you, um, I feel like it really causes you to question if this person is somebody that you want to stay with long term. I mean, maybe you may have been pulling your energy back, but I feel like that seems to push you into an energy where you're wondering if this person now is even a good match for you. So with this bit here, oh, look at the Seven of Swords. Whoa. Okay. 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 And then we do have the King of Swords there as well, right? Hold on for a second here, Gemini. I'm just gonna. Here's the thing, okay? Gemini, I think you know exactly what you need to do here. And I feel like to a certain extent, you may have been either hoping that things will change or that you were misinterpreting or that there was something else going on. Because I feel like in order to admit to yourself what you really truly see in this situation, it means you have to admit that you're wrong. And I feel like it was something that it may not be something specifically about this, but it's like a self-truth that you may have had for a certain period of time. It's almost like you see yourself as a good judge of character, and maybe you are most of the time, but something here, it's like you misjudged their character. You know what I mean? And that may not be the actual case, but it's like there's something here that you may not want to admit to yourself that you've missed. And I feel like if you give yourself enough time, obviously you'll see that, but I feel like you're going to get to a place where you realize why you didn't see it and that it's not a knock at you that you didn't see it. So I think I'll leave it there, Gemini. If this reading resonated, I hope it helped. I hope it makes your week a little bit easier. I love you so much, and I really do hope that this kind of works out for the best for you. Obviously for this other person as well, but I hope that this goes smoothly for you. So just a bit of quick housekeeping. I do have private readings available again, so my email's below in the description box. The singles and new love reads, which are coming out next week, or sorry, they are coming out next week. And then I do have a poll in the community section. And if you'd like to vote, I would love to have your opinion on it. It's just if you prefer to have the longer reads that are released during the week, if you would prefer them all in one day, or if you like them a little bit at a time. Sometimes I know that when people release really often, it really gums up your feed. So I just would love your opinion on what would be best for you on that. And we'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.